Good morning, everyone. On this Wednesday in the 6th week in Easter, we are continuing our reading from the book of Acts. We're now in chapter 17, verse 15, and then verse 22 through 18, chapter 18, verse 1. After Paul's escorts had taken him to Athens, they came away with the instructions for Silas and Timothy to join him as soon as possible. Then Paul stood up at the Areopagus and said, "You Athenians, I see that in every respect you are very religious. For as I walked around looking carefully at your shrines, I even discovered an altar inscribed to an unknown God. What therefore you unknowingly worship, I proclaim to you. The God who made the world and all that is in it, the Lord of heaven and earth, does not dwell in sanctuaries made by human hands, nor is he served by human hands because he needs anything. Rather, it is he who gives to everyone life and breath and everything. He made from one the whole human race to dwell on the entire surface of the earth, and he ordered the seasons and the boundaries of their regions, so that people might seek God, even perhaps grope for him and find him, though indeed he is not far from any one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your poets have said, for we too are his offspring. Since therefore we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the divinity is like an image fashioned from gold, silver, or stone by human art and imagination. God has overlooked the times of ignorance, but now he demands that all people everywhere repent, because he has established a day on which he will judge the world with justice through a man he has appointed, and he has provided confirmation for all by raising him from the dead." When they heard about the resurrection of the dead, some began to scoff, but others said, "We should like to hear you on some other time." And so Paul left them, but some did join him and became believers. Among them were Didymus, a member of the court of the Areopagus, and a woman named Damaris, and others with them. After this, he left Athens and went to Corinth. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So we have this kind of separation. There's this little episode where at Philippi there is this problem. And it seemed prudential that Paul get out of town, get out of Dodge. And so he leaves to go to another area. He's escorted, as it were, outside the city, and he goes to Athens. But he wanted to continue the missionary journey together with Barnabas, not with Barnabas, but with Silas and Timothy. But they were going to meet later on, presumably in Corinth. So he is now outside by himself in Athens. And here he's in this place where people like to philosophize, likes to give all kinds of opinions, just kind of like a marketplace of ideas that people would give. And it gives an opportunity for him to share the gospel. Now he begins with where they're at. Now remember, they have all kinds of gods that they worship. After all, Areopagus is Ares, or Mars, if you were from Rome. So literally, it's Mars Hill. It's the place where they have these ideas that are exchanged. For some of the folks, they listen, but after they hear about the resurrection of the body, because many of them don't believe the body is worth anything. You can do whatever you want with the body. It's the spirit that's important. And so it caused enough of a rift for folks to say, well, I've heard enough of you. Let me go on to the next one to hear what that person has to say. But there were a few that do believe. And it's worth, I think, listening to this, that Apostle Paul had to adjust, according to his audience, his message. And some have speculated, well, it's because he didn't proclaim Christ crucified, which he will say that's what he proclaims. I think it's more than that. We don't know all that he said there, but what we do know is that he attempted to grab their imagination to at least draw them into a place where he can explain more of the gospel. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes people just don't want to hear anything more. At least the word is getting out. Hopefully we're doing that in our word, indeed, in our lives too. Stay safe, folks. Hopefully we'll see each other soon. Bye for now.